Hello, everyone. I'm Mackenzie Jacob, your host, and welcome back to Dress Rehearsal, the podcast where Broadway and fashion take center stage, and we dive deep on personal style and the roles that shape us on stage and off. Today's guest is truly a bundle of joy, light, and has a hell of a resume. Desi Oakley is a stage, screen, and voice artist who is most known for originating the role of Jenna on the first national tour of Waitress, as well as starring in the role on the West End. Not only has she been on Broadway in Wicked, Annie, Les Mis, yeah, casual, but she also brought her fresh take to Roxy Hart in Chicago. You might have seen Desi on your TV screens in Elsbeth, Gotham, The Gilded Age, Only Murders in the Building, or hear her voice on feature films like The Wicked movie, Dear Evan Hansen, Tick Tick Boom, and Spirited. Not only does Desi have her own original music that can be found on all streaming platforms, but she came just in time for the holiday season to celebrate her new holiday single, Christmas on the Coast, written by Diaz and Martin Storrow. This song is a perfect poppy anthem to ring in the Christmas season. Desi also coaches and mentors young artists all over the US and is an activist promoting mental health support. She truly lives in her purpose and brings the causes that she cares about to every aspect of her artistry. You can stay up to date with Desi on social at Desi Oakley and can check out the new official music video and acoustic version of Christmas on the Coast now. I hope you enjoy my conversation with Desi Oakley.
And welcome Desi Oakley to the pod. How are you?
I am so good. I'm so happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you. And we start out every episode with
hmm
how did you get bit by the theater bug?
Simple. 10 years old, first Broadway show, New York City, visited New York City from Kansas. I saw Beauty and the Beast. The rest was
Okay.
history. Like,
Yeah.
of all the shows to see, it I mean, so magical, so perfect, and the rest was history. I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. And then at that time, I had already been working I was super lucky in Wichita, Kansas to grow up with an amazing regional theater that was basically my community theater. And it happens
Mhm.
to be this like incredibly renowned theater
Okay, Kansas.
absolute, where absolute Broadway stars go. Yes. Okay. Kansas for sure. And like literally my parents dropped me off because I had a lot of energy.
Mhm.
And then I was like hanging out with Kelli O'Hara. Like I didn't do like this is not casual. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? That sort of solidified it. But I was so lucky to basically, a lot of kids, they have maybe access to some training or to a community theater, but to have this professional theater was like in my backyard. So that's really why I have the career that I have, for sure.
And it is so important. People always think like, oh, it's the Broadway show that you saw. And yes, for you it was. But
hmm
like being able to take that energy and put it into your life as a kid is so
Yep.
important.
Immediately, like to see that. Yeah, totally.
Right. And as someone who you were in Annie, Annie is my like how I got bit by the bug.
Oh my God, it was Annie for you. I love
Yeah.
that.
Which is like basic,
You
but I
share
was
that. No, no, you share that with a lot of people. That's not
exactly.
basic. It's not
And
basic.
I was Pepper. And so, having a diva turn in elementary school,
Come
I
on.
think, yeah. And I'm sure for you being in that show now, seeing so many of those little girls probably moving on into the industry, like,
I
what
mean,
does that feel like?
look at them. Look at all of them. Every single one of them. I mean, like Sadie Sink, how do we even get started about it? So,
Insane.
uh-huh. And we had t-shirts made that said Sadie Sink is no joke. She was 11. It says Sadie Sink is
That's
no
insane.
joke. Yeah. She was an incredible child. And yeah, I think I loved that show. Wow, all of us, we were like, wow, this feels different
Mm,
because the children that were present, they were watching us with every fiber of their being. They were learning, they were sponges.
mhm,
And having done several professional contracts before that, Wicked, my Broadway debut before that,
mhm,
it was a change. And all of us sort of knew that there was something magical happening at that time because of the kids. And like, it was different.
mm,
They were watching us process the professional life, but they were also watching us process our personal lives. And they were and no parents were allowed backstage.
Oh,
Yep. So they
interesting.
made that call. They made that call really early on because they wanted to give the, and is there a right or a wrong way to do anything when it comes to like kids? I don't know. Like
Hmm.
I'm just really glad I don't have to make those decisions. That would be a really hard, you know, call. But no parents backstage. So they were like their own, they had chaperones and wranglers and people that looked after them and people that helped them, but they were standing on their own 2 feet. They were like really, um, it's really cool and it was really interesting. Yeah. Anyway, I'm so proud of all of them. I still talk with all of them, and yeah, that was an amazing magical experience for sure.
And how cool for you to go from being the child in like adult shows
Yep.
to then kind of like the reciprocity of then giving that back to these younger
Yes.
actors is so
Yes,
special.
1,000%. And that's also why I mentor young people now. I have several students that I work with privately, one on one. A lot of them who just graduate from their BFA programs, they move to the city and they're like, what do I do? And I'm like, I got you. So I love to like almost give back in that way that my mentors took me under their wing and believed in me and let me stumble around and let me figure things out and gave me their support. I try to do now as an adult and with the career that I have. So yeah, thanks for saying that. It's really meaningful to me.
And jumping ahead a little bit, something I am obsessed with is the video that you made recently about like your relationship with the little girl who played Lulu in Waitress.
Absolutely. Ruthie, we're still
Hmm.
best friends. We are always in contact. We are best friends.
Like, can we talk
And
about how this
we should
happens?
we should talk about it. We should talk about this. This is crazy. This is like a magical connection. This baby girl was 4 years old. She was four, almost five. The
Wow.
Lulus. So here's how it worked. National tour of Waitress. I originated Jenna on that first national tour. There were like four Jennas. I was the youngest at that point by like 7 years.
Wow.
Hmm. So I launched the tour, and it's kind of brilliant marketing. I thought it was actually kind of genius. And also then like, there's not a kid who's I hate to say this, but stuck on tour like
Right.
an entire year of a kid's life. No, we get to actually celebrate each hometown. It's the best. My favorite would be like the newspaper in each town would be like local girl stars in Waitress. And I'm like,
I
okay,
mean,
starring, giving 5 minutes at the end, starring, nailing it. It's great. But the marketing was brilliant.
it's a star to be turned. She is
Absolutely.
Miss
Absolutely.
NYC.
Absolutely. It's giving star to me. It's giving $3, 2 bags, one me. So,
Always.
so, so, um, so these little girls, like at that, if you think about it, every week, so to speak, there were several cities where we were sitting down longer. But if you think about it, like, 50 young girls across America, based on the length of my contract, ran across the stage to me and said, Mama, like, hi, Mama.
Hmm.
And they were all between 4 and 5 years old based on their height, being able to understand what's going on and their bravery on stage. And okay, so I don't even know what to tell you. Like and all of them were amazing.
Right.
We're in Cincinnati, Ohio. And the mom, first of all, we should talk about the mom, Lindsay Dewald,
Hmm.
icon.
Okay, diva.
Yeah, diva. So this baby girl, 4 years old, Scoots. They live in the city, so she's heading to the stage door with her beanie, her little parka, her cute little jeans, her high
Hmm.
top sneakers, and she's scooting on her scooter to work. So she's already giving city girl.
Okay, Jen Colella famously would raise her scooter to and from the theater. So you know what?
Spot on.
Ruthie walked so Jen could run.
That's exactly right. So this is the picture. We meet, and I was like, first of all, she was brilliant, and I know that sounds crazy to say, but after you've seen several, they're kids though. Of course, they're all great, and they're so cute, and they can't mess this up. But I'm gonna tell you, this she just got it.
Hmm.
This baby girl just understood it. So not just that, but then we giggled and we laughed, and I was like, she would look at me and she would like ask me a question, or I was like, you can hear me, can't you? Like I was like,
Yep.
it's like this thing is on. Like we are connecting right now. And it was like, and I did set a boundary with a lot of the girls as well. I had a really big job to do. But I was
Yeah.
like, do you want to come to my dressing room? I was like, do you want to come and hang out with like before and after the show? her mom was like, anytime you can draw this line, we are setting this boundary.
Right.
Anytime, if you need me to come in here, like I was like, no, we need to hang out. We would stage door together. I was like, do you know what the stage door is? She was like, yeah, it's where everybody stands with their Sharpies. I was like, correct. Do you want to stage door with me? She was like, yes, I do. I was like, all of these people just saw the show and they want to meet us. They want to say hi. She was like, duh. I was like, okay, great. Like, so I would take her on my hip. It's like the only time that Jenna and Lulu come out together that we're like, this friendship. So then cut to me and Lindsay, her mother, her amazing mom, Diva. How's Ruthie? How's it going?
Right.
How's she doing? She's great. She's here, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I'm going to be near Cincy. Can I see her? Hey, we're going to be near here when you're doing the show. Can we come? Hey, so over the years, just year after year, I would scoop her up. We would take the same picture, like year after year.
Yeah.
And sure enough, she turns, did she turn? It was either her 11th or her 12th birthday. I think it was her 12th birthday. And she's going to come to New York City and, and, and see me and come to New York City to be with me. And so there it was. So I was like, I gotta document this. This is just like, this is just perfect. Took her to Wicked, took her backstage because obviously, you know, I mean, we did the whole thing. We went to like all of it. But my favorite part about her is like like at the end of Waitress when she was 4, her favorite thing to do post show would be to order Indian food and eat food at midnight
Like,
and eat food at midnight. And I said, same. So like when I brought her around New York City, I was like, we're going to this place, we're going to this place. She was like, great. Like we didn't eat kid food. Like we were like, it was insane.
she's very boss baby, just like an adult stuck in a little kid's body.
She is the coolest person. And I love her and we just have the best bond. And it's just amazing. And I think theater is amazing like this. Like it bonds people in ways that I feel like not everything can. It's a really special art form. And I'm obsessed with it. I think connection is the number one reason I'm in this industry. And it's probably that word can sum up maybe like what I try to base everything that I do on stage and off in is connection. That's my favorite part of all of it, you know. Connection to other people, connection to audience, connection to material, connection to self, connection, just, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that is kind of like your North Star because as someone who started your career as like a swing, a standby, an ensemble member, I feel like that foundation feels so important now as like you're leading shows. And so I'm curious like how those roles in a company really like have influenced now how you approach the industry because it feels like very brick by brick.
It is absolutely correct. And all of it was leading me toward all of it. And like all of it was so aligned and I wouldn't change any of it for the world. And especially, right, I'm talking to these young people, mentoring them, and they're at the precipice of their career. And they're like, what's the right way? Like, how do I do this right? And I'm like, you just take the next right best step. And you just like keep going and things will start to fall into place. And I don't know if because I have this opportunity to reflect a lot when working with them. And I'm like, did I know this at 22? Like, did I know this? I don't know if I did. It's really hard to say. It's really hard to say what we knew. Like, so when I'm asking them to know this, like, how can they fully? It's just like so tough. Like, but that's the whole thing. And I bet it's how parents feel with kids and like anyone who's just like talking to a young person and being like, you can't know what you don't know yet, but I can try to guide or help and just support. But swinging, you know, understanding, I think being at this incredible professional regional theater growing up gave me big picture perspective. So I approach all of my work with that idea, almost producerially, like almost like from a producer's perspective of like, this is my job. I see the way you're doing your job. I appreciate this. I understand this. I can see things on a large scale. So understanding the role, I think even just, I say this because even like understudying had a different connotation to me than like I'm waiting in the wings to go on stage until they go out. It's more like this is so part of the wheel
Right.
I'm the spoke of this wheel that needs to keep, turning and just understanding things on a larger level. And
Right.
yeah, all of that is from in my insanely lucky experience. Yes. Yeah.
And it's letting the macro inform the micro. Like it's letting,
Totally.
and I think a lot of times people can get bogged down in like, how do I master my exact piece of this pie? And at the
Mm,
end of the day, it's like, well, actually, no, it's more so how you fit into the greater landscape. And
thousand
so you
percent.
you can always be so amazing in your role, but high tides rise all ships. Like your show is going to be better if you're a part of a greater effort.
I completely agree.
And when you made your debut in Wicked, I'm curious, you were what, 21 years old?
I was, yeah, just turned 22. Yeah.
Insane. And so, can you speak to like how you emotionally navigated tackling 19 tracks? Like, did you feel imposter syndrome or were you just like, my life is weighted for this?
It was so funny. Maybe both
Okay.
and other things in between.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I was the universal swing for Wicked. At the time there were 3 companies that needed my artistry.
Okay.
That would be the Broadway company, the first national and the second national. So 2 different national tours were simultaneously going across the United States
Right.
and Canada. So when people are like, "Oh yeah, Wicked, it's just now blowing up." Wrong.
We've been here. We have been.
Baby, baby. And that's what's I think so cool is it not only has it withstood the test of time, but it's like only wow, it's just aged
Mhm.
incredibly.
Like a fine
It's just
wine.
crazy. So yeah, so what I would do is the word swing in this job a little bit of a different meaning, because instead of swing off stage until needing to be on, the swing meant swing as in like go toward different, instead of swinging tracks like I'm swinging different tracks, it's swinging, yes, different tracks and different shows. So the only time I was off stage would be if I was covering for a swing who was
Mm.
off stage. And so what ended up happening when there's so many roles, the coverage of said swing in each show needs to only be doing that amount of coverage, right? Not additional. So
Mm.
essentially, injuries, maternity leaves, sicknesses, vacations, these things started to add up and they started to say, ooh, we need to cover our bases. And so I did this, 10 months, I believe, and it was wild. But that is like, it also taught me, speaking of full picture, like
Yeah.
hello, taking that job on, I think it also taught me, I've made this pipeline thought
Okay.
often. It helped me turn the page if I made an error on stage. So like I messed up a lot, right?
Mhm.
And that was the first time in my life, that I could see that perfection is something we can't strive for.
Mm.
We have to keep going.
Right.
And that, because these productions had changes. So in this production, that track stays on the statue for the dance break. And in this production, that exact track has a dance partner.
Mhm.
So when I stood on the statue and my dance partner lifted no one and danced by themselves, I had approximately 15 seconds to cry in the wings before I had to go to my costume change to move on. Like,
Mm. Yep.
move on, moving on. And forgiveness of self. And as a constantly navigated, like I'm constantly navigating perfectionism, which I feel does not exist in art well.
No.
It shouldn't really at all, but a lot of us are out here navigating what that is. It helped me perform Evita,
Mm.
where 17 costume changes, never leaves the stage, an error is bound to occur,
Mhm.
turn the page. So in the same show, I could say by the end of it, even while making an error or something happened or something, my voice fell out of place or I missed something or I wasn't present or something happened, I would still be able to say by the end of the show, it was a good show. I
Mhm.
wasn't so hung up on one mistake, done, it sucked. This was a terrible show, bad, which is natural for me.
Mhm.
So swinging, to answer your question in the long way, we took the scenic route. It completely informed my whole career and so much of my life, but certainly my career. Yeah.
Well, and that's the perfect lesson to learn in your first big show because then you could draw a parallel straight to Waitress, props the musical. Like
Yeah.
you're
Props to
not going
musical.
to get every prop every single time.
Thanks for knowing that.
And so like if that's if your level is perfectionism, you're not going to get there.
Yeah. Oh, and you're not going to get there. And guess what? Even if you are somehow faking it, it's not going to be fun.
No.
So, ay, right? Like
Yeah.
let's make a choice as soon as possible to move away from perfection. And it's incredibly hard. Easier said than done. Something I'm obviously still working on, obviously still navigating. But yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah. And there's a podcast, I Love Stages podcast, that's Stephanie J. Block and her bestie, Mary Lee
Mm-hmm.
Fairbanks. And
Mm-hmm.
Mary Lee talks about how she taught her son very young to like fail often, fail small, fail big, just fail. And as someone who like, I hate failure, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm less inclined to do something if I don't think I'm going to be good at it. And I think when you realize that that's just holding you back from things that you could become good at, that's really powerful. And so knowing that failure is actually going to better inform you rather than something that like is terrifying and something to like run away from.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Wow.
And from your time at Wicked, when you went on to understudy Elphaba, I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious what you were telling yourself before you went on, because that feels like a mountain that feels like inevitably there's going to be some failure at some point during the show.
It's so funny you say that. I'm trying to think about what I was actually thinking about, like for the very first time I went on. I think I was probably just like in that spoke mindset of like, this is my job. I'm just doing my job now. It's
Mm-hmm.
my job to get the wheel to turn. I'm going to do my job.
Right.
Because maybe there was some protection in there where if I'm thinking about if I'm going to be good or if it's going to be good or whatever, at that point, like survival instincts like
Sure.
took over. But I do remember my first time going on was a 2-show day and I had to do both. And I do remember that the come down after the first one, I think that we as humans have this tendency to be like, okay, we did it, crash.
Mm-hmm.
And that crash was impossible to do. Like it was impossible to have a crash exist.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a challenging moment for me. I remember being like, well, now now there's no surprise. Now I know what's going on, and now I'm deliberately showing up and choosing this. And so all the other thoughts that weren't present because I was in that survival mode were super present, and they came
Right.
flooding. They came
You
flooding.
knew too much before. You were
Knew way too much.
blissfully.
Oh, ignorance is bliss,
Yeah.
right? No, but it ended up settling, especially by Act 2. I remember that. I remember thinking, we're settling, which goes to show me now is like, I say this all the time, and I've had more experiences since then in various hundreds of other performance opportunities since. And like something I would have loved to hear myself tell myself then, that part of myself then, is that showing up scared is the name of the game at this point. Like, not only can we show up scared, but we can actually succeed scared. Like, I have had so many successful, amazing contracts terrified. And the scaredness didn't necessarily go away. It softened and it settled, kind of like I did throughout Act 2.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if we wait, just as you said, if we wait until the fear is gone, yikes, that's risky. We might not do anything in the whole world.
This might be controversial, but I heard this quote yesterday on TikTok of all places. But they were like, the time between when you're hesitating to do something, someone less prepared, less talented, okay, I don't know how I feel about that, they're jumping at the opportunity.
That coincides perfectly with Big Magic, Elizabeth Gilbert.
Mm.
Her entire notion of this book, which changed my life, which I am going to try to read every single year, is essentially that an idea, a creative outlet, a creative energy, anything that you're talking about like this, artistry in general, comes from heaven, the artist heaven, the ether, the universe, and it chooses someone.
Mm.
And if you do not act on it, it will choose someone else.
Mm-hmm.
That coincides perfectly with that. It's like it chose you. Whatever this idea is, whatever this thing that is inside of you has chosen you. And it almost is like gives this urgency. And I don't sense it in the same hustle energy. It doesn't feel like that hustle grind energy. It feels like the urge is exactly right. Yeah, it's a totally different drive. But it gives you that urgency. It will certainly light a flame. I was like, oh, that stayed with me. I can't recommend Big Magic enough. Yeah, it's just, all artists should read that book.
And I don't know if you heard about this, but Dylan Mulvaney did a one-woman show. Yes. And essentially the premise was,
I love Dylan.
Which life was selected for you. And so Dylan was like Angel 600 and whatever. And the angel right before Dylan got to be Zendaya. And Dylan got to be Dylan. And it's like, oh, what are the odds that this is the life that I have to live? And so I might
Wow.
as well embrace this journey because I didn't choose it.
I love it so much.
It
I
was
love that so much.
it was such a crystallizing way, I feel like, for
Mm,
people to understand like your life is not necessarily mapped out for you, but
mm,
your life is like your experience and it's yours to live rather than like sometimes I can get caught up in like, is this the right decision? Is this going to lead to XYZ? And it's like,
mm.
well, whatever decision you make is kind of going to be the trajectory. And so why not just like relinquish that control?
Oh, yes. Easier said than done. I want that
Uh,
on a pillow. Like that'd have to
so
be
much
like, I
easier
guess
said than
that'd be
done.
a tiny fonted
Yes.
pillowcase or a gigantic pillow, but I want the whole thing printed. It's so good. And I wish, yeah. Ooh, that's I guess like the lifelong lesson.
You know, but then when you remember it's lifelong and that you're not going to figure it out, it's like, not to get more quotes, but like the
No.
concept of like your parents living life for the first time, like
Yeah.
every single person, it's just that's in pursuit of, you're never going to reach it.
True.
Yeah.
True. The pursuit of is the meaningful part though, I think,
Mhm.
and that's like the whole like what's the meaning of life? It's to find out the meaning of life.
Right.
You know?
Curious how you navigated then the responsibility of leading companies because it feels
Mm,
like that's something you take very seriously,
mhm.
but also leading a company loses that camaraderie of an ensemble track. It loses kind
Mhm.
of that village a little bit.
Thank you. I've seen both sides of that. I've seen the challenges of it,
Mhm.
but ultimately, I would say it's a passion of mine. I think that I have one of my gifts might be that leading comes naturally
Mm.
in general, and I don't necessarily mean leading like other people. I mean even leading myself or brainstorming and then executing. Manifesting and generating. So I don't know. I feel like it's been a passion of mine mostly because I've seen it done so beautifully.
Mhm.
I've seen it done less beautifully, but I'll focus more on the beautifully part that it can shape shift an entire production. It can
Mhm.
shape shift ticket sales. It all trickles down, as they say. Leading with grace is such a beautiful desire of mine. Like, which means what? I guess, looking out for the greater good, giving voice where there is none, bringing a voice to things that require a voice, holding space for things that need extra attention, pursuing what matters, keeping the integrity of the original concept of this art form that we're doing, staying open to change and flexible as it shifts. I mean, just really, these are things I think about a lot.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think it's been my goal as I step into spaces, and it's the best compliment that I've been given. I was just recently starring in a regional production of a show, and another lead of the show came up to me afterward and basically talked about the impact that my leadership had made on them and their experience.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is all I ever want, you know?
Mhm.
And you could say all day long, like, you're so great in the role, you're so great, you're so great. Just like that's all I ever want. It's my truest desire. And I think it's because I don't know why that is. It's just more important to me, I think. Yeah.
And we had iconic alphabet Eden Espinosa on the pod, and she talked a lot about how leading a company 20 years later when she was doing Lempicka,
Mm,
she knew the weight that her voice had in the room and how to use that weight properly. And so for
mm,
someone in the ensemble, maybe it's their debut, other people that like, yes, in an ideal world, everyone has an equal voice, but like those people didn't feel compelled or feel like they had the support to speak up.
mm.
Taking those temp checks of being like, oh, what do you need? What do you need?
Totally.
Not just what I need to carry the show. And then making sure that those voices are heard.
And think about when those voices are heard and the impact of then showing up to continue to do your job, knowing that the lead of your company cares about it and is going to try to do something to make a change toward the better direction. Just amazing. And then the camaraderie, and then the morale, and then the desire to keep showing up. I mean, that's the trickling down perfectly crystallized. That's it in action. It's beautiful.
Right. Because people just want to be seen. So even if your grievance isn't going to be fixed,
Yep.
as long as it's heard, that's the point.
It's literally the point. Yeah.
And so I want to do a little bit of a Waitress deep dive because I think
Let's go.
leading that company is so important. So,
Mm.
for reference, I saw Waitress in previews and the set broke down and Sarah Bareilles came out and sang to us for 20 minutes.
Okay, I'm
And
obsessed.
so I was on the train. And I think that like when you have creativity at the helm that's so invested in the success of something,
Mm.
that is so special. And I'm curious for you also as a songwriter, what
Mm.
it meant. And did it feel so, because it's a Southern show, you're a Southern gal, like, did it feel
Mm.
so in alignment with who you were as a person?
Entirely more than I could ever tell you.
Yeah.
No one's ever asked me that. It entirely more than I could ever tell you.
Hmm.
Because, and not just that, but like, watch me trying to tell you now. Okay, like more than I could ever tell you, and now I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to tell you. Okay,
Okay.
before Sarah Bareilles' sheet music came out, I was learning her songs by ear.
Mm.
I was, 13, 14, 15 years old. I was truly like sounding out the chords, and she's always been the North Star for my
Hmm.
writing. Yeah. And you know what's so funny is I saw the original cast
Hmm.
of Waitress on Broadway. And this weird people were like, were you dreaming about this role?
Mm.
Did you ever, and it's such a weird thing to say, but you'll just have to take my word for it.
Yeah.
No, when I saw this show, even as perfect as it was, so I this could be taken two ways, and if like we should get my therapist and then we could like, see all of the different ways. But I would like to credit that to exactly what I was speaking to before, which was like I showed up and I was the audience member.
Mm.
I am a dreamer and I do dream and I do picture things and I do let myself daydream and I see things, but at that point my duty, my job I was a patron of the theater. I was watching this show that I had heard so many incredible things about. It wasn't until I got the audition. I mean, it did not, weirdly, it did not cross my mind. It
Wow.
could have. I I don't know. And the other side of that might be like, oh, was I diminishing myself? Was there any part of like the not enoughness that was coming in? I
Mhm.
don't think so. It really was just that I was like, I came to support a show because of the show. Because the
Mhm.
show is absolutely 1000 out of 10. And so I don't know. And
Mhm.
so I don't, and it wasn't a blind spot. Certainly wasn't. That was part of my whole life. It changed my career. So it's just interesting. But I think as a songwriter, and I think as a song, specifically someone who is a musician and a songwriter, I do invest a lot of time in making whatever I'm reading, singing, come off the page in a way with a certain level of integrity. I'm always striving for that. And I do think it was noticed. And I do think it was appreciated. And I do think it was a fit based on the timbre of my instrument, sure, but also the care in which I approach the work. Grief had been present in my life, different grief than Jenna, but equally as, I would say, life altering.
Mm.
And I was able to, I mean, I sobbed in the final callback and I wasn't planning to. And I don't normally let myself go that far.
Mm.
But I sort of felt this moment where I was like, I guess they just need to know that I can. And so I sort of
Interesting.
left it out there on the floor, literally.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I got the role. I mean, that's the spoiler alert, but yeah, I think it all contributed. All
Mhm.
of it was contributing, the life experience. And
Right.
yeah.
It's interesting that your window in was different. I also saw last summer they did a deaf theater production of Waitress, which
Mm.
was fascinating. They did it at Lincoln Center, and it was an all deaf company, and they had like the track playing in the background, but they performed the entire show.
Yeah.
And I think the different experiences that you can bring into this role, it doesn't have to specifically be Jenna's experience, but you can bring in those things.
Mm.
And I'm curious, you had a very unique experience as Jenna because you got to tell this story in the South on tour.
Mm.
And
Totally.
so I think that is such a different thing than a New York audience because it's a very specific type of experience and just like the way people talk about things or the way people have no interest in sharing things. And so
Mm.
I'm from Florida, so like I guess that's the South too. And I think moving to New
Yeah.
York, it was really interesting to see how people are a lot more upfront talking about exactly what happened or how it happened
Mm.
versus brushing things under the rug. And so I'm sure telling that story where it probably resonates with people so much deeper must have been such an interesting experience.
We noticed from place to place.
Yeah.
We noticed from place to place. And I might say specifically because Jenna, is hardly off stage. And I mean that in the way that, and with, doing it 100 whatever times, 200 times, you start to memorize a reaction.
Mm.
And the slightest change is information. I also, for the very first time in that contract, heard something on stage which I had never heard ever. And it's so intimate and there's so much quiet. I heard awkward laughter. I
Mm.
heard I heard uncomfortable laughter.
Right.
And so specific and many people uncomfortably laughing. Like this like very strange, it is a reaction, but it's I could and the shifting in the seats and the just that natural I'm getting a little uncomfortable. I'm getting a little okay, where's the
Because people
okay,
show
you
up
like
thinking it's the Sarah Bareilles Fun Pie musical, and then they
mhm,
realize that there's a lot
mhm, mhm,
deeper under the hood.
mhm. And the writing is so incredibly brilliant.
Hmm.
You know, Jesse Nelson, of course, Bareilles, but just the roller coaster that we go on, and of course, Adrian Shelley, writer of the movie, but we go on that journey where it's almost like the roller coaster is like we're already strapped in, babe. Like we're already going. And
Hmm.
I know you're on the loop de doop part, and I know it's kind of scary, but like we're gonna finish this ride.
Right.
Yeah.
It is just like an interesting energy change, and I can only imagine that your experience on tour would be just so reflective of where you are.
Hmm. It was.
And I know you mentioned a little bit earlier that you are a self-proclaimed dreamer, which I totally am
Yes.
too. And in preparing for today's interview, I heard this quote from Leslie Odom Jr., and I feel like this will resonate.
One of
Basically,
his number one fans.
obsessed, love. Okay,
Yeah.
so he basically said that I think it was an agent said to him, one, don't make a secret of what you want. And so don't posture, like say what you want and what you're going for in
Mm.
life. And the more you like love out loud, the more things will like be attracted to you.
Hmm.
And then this one I thought was particularly interesting and applicable, but he was ready to quit the business. And basically his acting coach said, did you do anything today besides wait for the phone to ring? And it feels like you have never been someone waiting for the phone to ring. And so between this new song and the musical that you wrote, The Light Effect, how creating your own opportunities has shifted the way you navigate your career.
So good. Also obsessed with, oh my God, Leslie Odom Jr.
Hmm.
Wow, the world is a better
Everything he
place.
says is just like
Hmm.
preaching to the choir.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then everything he sings blesses our ears for the rest of our lives.
Right.
Yes. So I have always been driven, which I think is great and can sometimes be a blessing and a curse. On the other side of that, I've had to remind myself that I'm worthy of rest, which is
Mm-hmm.
not great. So, but again, always navigating that. But the drive part of that comes with the dreaming because the drive is only because of the dream.
Hmm.
So I see myself in situations where I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. And
Hmm.
then I do have audacity to put myself in positions where I want those to come into fruition.
Hmm.
And then I do whatever I can to make that happen. And I have an incredible support team, an incredible team, and, amazing friends and an incredible husband who navigate all of those waters with me by holding my hand and telling me that I can
Mm.
and remind me to not give up in these arenas. I've always written. I studied the piano classically for 14 years, starting when I was 8 years old. My grandmother, I have like many, many, many first cousins, and my grandmother bought all of us 1 year of piano lessons when we came of age, and I was the only one. Can you believe that, first of all? Eleanor,
Right.
unbelievable, absolute legend.
Like what a gift.
Can you even understand the impact? Unbelievable. I was the only one that continued after that year and then went on 13 more years. And it completely impacted my career, my musicality, my musicianship, my writing, all of it, which then cut to all the things we've already talked about, which that all led
Mm-hmm.
to. Imagine. And so I've always written, and it's always been a way where I would self-express through the piano, through lyrics. And yeah, I created a musical, which The Light Effect was a concept concert, which is now a pilot, a television pilot.
Oh, amazing.
I changed the medium because it just was screaming at me. And now I'm full into that direction of The Light
Mhm.
Effect being a pilot. So I'm also writing a television series, which is absolutely insane.
Can you tell
Although,
people a little bit of like the
yeah,
plot or just give people a feel of what it's about? Because I think
yeah,
it's really special.
thank you. So, yes, it's about a young woman with a superpower who she has the ability to see when people are struggling with mental health, which is something that is unseen. So, the superpower is that she can see when people are struggling, which is not something that is outwardly expressed most of the time. And it's how she runs around New York City and she's harnessing this gift, understanding it, rejecting it, failing at it, learning how to navigate it. And yeah, mental health is a really big part of my life. I'm an advocate. I work a lot with as many companies as I can, and I am constantly, I think I'm weaving it also into the work that I do with young people. I cannot imagine being a young person with the amount of social media and also pursuing my art today. The I also work with the American Foundation for
Okay, perfect plug.
AFSP, baby.
Mhm.
Oh, the P has come off.
Oh,
Very, very, very loved mug. American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is an amazing organization that's near and dear to my heart. They are actually who backed the concept concert. So anyway, it's this beautiful story, and I was really inspired several years ago by the book that Matt Haig wrote called The Midnight Library.
okay.
And the main thing that I loved about it was that he is taking, essentially, if you were to break down what the meaning of the book is, you would not say it was about suicide prevention or mental health. You would say it's about this incredible story, and you would go on this journey of this person. And essentially, he has made a mental health story mainstream, and
Mm,
it's a New York Times bestseller. So that's my dream. That's my goal, is to take mental health stories, but make them so mainstream, so relevant, cool, well acted.
mhm,
And it's not what I feel that we have right now is this spectrum of it's either Mr. Rogers and it's too fluffy and it's not necessarily accurate, maybe sugar coated even,
mhm,
or it's violent and there's trigger warnings and it's terrifying and it is very scary. That's what we have, I feel, especially in television. So this is something in the middle.
mhm.
Um, and it's light and it's beautiful and it's exciting. So that's The Light Effect. And with Christmas on the Coast, I did not write Christmas on the Coast. My amazing friends, Dan Diaz and Martin Storrow, wrote Christmas on the Coast, and they approached me and they were like, let me tell you what we're looking for.
Mhm.
We're looking for a Sarah Bareilles sound, someone with theater who can take this because they write. I actually, we got to know each other through Frankie Daly, who, amazing, NAMT, National Alliance for Musical Theater. He connected all of us because they were looking for a specific sound because this Christmas song is like vibey and it's like coastal and it kind of gives this like warm, chill vibe. And Frankie was like, Desi Oakley. And they were like, Desi Oakley. And so
Right.
they approached me. And then that's where we all came. And it's about, yeah, Christmas on the Coast is about like, I'm in New York. Dan Diaz, who produced it and also did all of the music, unbelievable. He's in LA and Martin is in New York. And so it's this like amazing, truly like Christmas on both coasts
Mhm.
energy, but it has that California chill coastal vibe, which I love. So working with songwriters as a songwriter is again another example of why I feel I might be the person they want to work with
Right.
a lot of the time, because as a songwriter I can understand what they want. I'm like, ooh, I get their I see their music, I hear their music, and I'm like, is this what you're thinking? And of course I try to always be collaborative,
Mhm.
like, and they gave me a lot of freedom with this too. So yeah, that's kind of like both projects you mentioned,
Yeah.
but yeah, Christmas on the Coast.
And I'm curious,
Tell me.
since there are so many like Broadway Christmas crossover albums, there's
Yeah.
Barbara, there's Groban, Idina Menzel did one. Two things. One, if you could make your own Christmas playlist, what other Christmas songs would you want to put with Christmas on the Coast?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Mhm. And two, maybe this one might be easier. Who is another theater star that you would love to hear sing the song?
Ooh, that I would love to hear Christmas on the Coast.
Mhm.
Oh my God, that's such a good question too. Okay. That's so good. I feel like let's start with the playlist idea.
Okay.
I think since Christmas on the Coast is a little bit like it's not traditional because it
Mhm.
sounds just like a pop song. I think it could be played year round, although
Okay.
obviously for the season it's topical.
Sure.
I think then we should go in the direction of like non-traditional Christmas songs then. And we should be
Okay.
like we should be putting in the like the Santa Tell Me, the
Hmm.
Underneath the Tree. Let's go full pop songs. Like
Okay, I have 2 suggestions.
I'm ready.
Miley Cyrus's version of War Is Over. So good.
Done.
So good.
Done.
And then a lot of people do this song very well. Adina Menzel does it particularly well. River.
Say less. Say
Yes.
less.
Those
Brilliant.
feel like the same energy that we're curating.
I'm obsessed. Who do I want? Okay. Okay. I'm looking for a specific. It might be Altamar. It might be Christy Altamar.
Oh, I see it.
And or like I'm just right. Like I'm kind of trying
Yes.
to get like a
I
or
have
like
a rogue take.
Noble. I was gonna say like Noble Azada. I feel like Eva could like
Oh,
really crush.
down for that. I was gonna say
Right?
an acoustic Darren Criss version.
It's giving Darren Chris.
Because he
Yes.
loves to break a song apart.
Wait, obsessed. Well, while we're
Yes.
at it, Jordan Fisher.
Oh, sure. Sure.
It's a duet.
Correct. And they're on different coasts singing to each other.
Let's go. Okay,
Okay.
we are apt. I'm totally floating this, pitching it for next season. We're doing it.
Yes. Okay.
They're gonna do a cover.
They need to.
Okay.
There's actually, I forget the name of it, but there's this Instagram that they're like deconstructing Broadway songs and making them more like acoustic Broadway. And I saw
Fun.
one yesterday that did Corner of the Sky from Pippin.
Wait,
That
this
was
is giving Ellery Ward. This is
yes,
giving.
yes,
I'm obsessed.
yes,
Okay.
correct.
Fabulous. I
Okay.
subscribe fully.
I'm down for this. And going back to Waitress for a second, you made your West End debut alongside Marisha Wallace. And something I think
My favorite person of all time.
that is very fascinating in your songwriting and also just like in your creativity is that she went on from being in the ensemble of Something Rotten on Broadway to then starring as Effie in Dreamgirls on the West End. Like,
She sure
unreal.
did.
And I'm curious your perspective of how both of your stories feel like such testaments to being in the driver's seat of your own career and being open to things that might happen. Like this Christmas song might not have been like the first thing you think of when you think of theater, but being open to these other
Yes.
vessels and how it's really like a surrendering.
Mackenzie, how did you know? Okay, Marisha
Uh-huh.
is a huge part of my life and has been since this.
Mm-hmm.
And is a guiding force for me. She is my
Mm.
1000% inspiration with how to exist in this industry and beyond. She is a she is a manifestor and a generator. She is
Uh-huh.
a go-getter. She's a Jane of all trades. She is exceptional at dreaming and her foresight, her hindsight. She's also so in the present moment. She's so open. I'm thank you for bringing her up because like I would love to talk about Marisha Wallace
It
because
just feels like a
she's
very
we
similar
are
brain space.
and we are sisters. Like literally she calls me sister. Like and when we get together, which we did, she was in after closing Cabaret
Mhm.
as Sally Bowles. She stayed in the city for several months, and we got a chance to just go. I mean, we had several
Some
moments,
yap
and we
sessions.
just
Mhm.
sit in various places all over New York City, and we just like sit and we just talk.
To be a fly on the wall.
I mean, we go in and we dream and we're like, oh, so and so. And then we're like, you'll see us both and we're like, okay, so and so, I'll send you so and so. And it's like, okay, we're on Instagram. We're like, oh, I haven't seen that person before. Like, blah, blah, blah. And then
Uh-huh.
it's like this, oh, I'll email us so and so. Oh, let me tell my team this, blah, blah, blah. And then we're just like, well, what about that? And then we'll get into feelings and emotions and then we'll be like, this is it. Like, it's just amazing.
Mhm.
She is truly someone I respect and admire and look up to with everything. That's an onstage and off energy.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was such kismet that she was there as Becky when I came in, and we had known each other. We'd actually we were before she left and is now like dual citizen and like launched her whole her whole London career. Here we had done a couple of projects together. We knew each other. We were friendly. We were like, hey, we knew each other. We ran in the
Mhm.
same circles and we did some gigs together. And then that sealed the deal.
Mhm.
When I went over, I mean, just sealed the deal. Like she took me all around London. I'm obsessed with her, and the world is too, and more of the world
Mhm.
will be. And like, I'm just like, just bring me with you wherever you go. Just swear to me that you're never gonna. You just bring me with you.
And one thing about her, she knows how to create an outfit. The girl has style.
1,000%, babe.
Yeah.
She owns it. We both rent the runway.
Yeah, because that allows you to take the risks that you wanna take
Oh
without,
yeah,
like, fully jumping in.
it's the best.
And I've loved seeing you share your outfits online, how
Thank you.
social media has, like, become an outlet for you beyond just, like, sharing shows, but, like, inspiring outfits,
Yes.
fashion.
Absolutely. I think that I love the great sides of social. Like I love the great sides of Instagram. I believe in a lot of it. I slippery slope for some. I understand there needs to be boundary. There like I don't think kids should be on it. Anyway, all
Mhm,
of those things, but I've loved the way that it's my own little self-expression page.
mhm,
And look, follow or don't, right? It's sort of like this is
right.
me. It's been great. And I think it can be a fun tool where I can do a brand collab with something that I'm really excited about, or I can post an outfit that I'm excited about, or I can post a song that I want everyone to hear, and
Mhm.
it's fun.
It's a
It
scrapbook
feels
of all of you versus
yes.
just professional you.
Yes, and I think that that's been fun for me because I enjoy it. And then if I don't want to post, I
You
won't
want
post
hear
at
from me.
all. I
You
won't
will
even
not
yeah,
hear yeah,
you will not hear from me at all, baby. I will be
right.
yeah,
There's no content
I'm
calendar
off the
happening.
no, I'm off the
Yeah,
grid. I want it to be authentic. So when I am posting about something, people are like, yeah, right. This is like what she wants to
right.
say. Absolutely. And I don't think there's a right way to do it. I think that people ask a lot, what should I be doing? What should I be pursuing with this? As long as it feels organic, as long as it feels like you, as long as it
Mhm.
feels right, and as long as it feels fun. If it's not fun, don't do it.
Right. Okay, speaking of fun, I feel like fashion for you is fun.
So fun.
And did New York influence your style at all, or did New York just kind of encourage you to just, like, go for whatever you're thinking?
Both.
Okay,
It's a runway. I'm outside. I walk outside. I'm like, ooh, this is so great. I follow
right.
the what people are wearing.
Obsessed.
I need to know. I do Paris. I do London. I do New York. So I want to know
Oh,
what everybody's doing. I
I
want
gotta
to know
tap into
whatever
the international
you
experience.
need to Paris, especially. Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
it is such a blast. I think, and twofold, as you just said, like you could wear whatever you want in this city.
Yeah,
Whatever you want. There's been seasons of my life I was walking around in sweats all day long, and that was before sweatsuits were cool. I'm talking about like I was just like I don't care, but
right.
also this is what I want to. This is what I want to wear.
Mhm.
And I've had seasons of my life where I was like every day a look. Like it's just it's about again how you feel and all of it. There's room for all of it, and I think it's just so. That's why I love living here and why I will die an old woman here. Literally, I'm going to be
Really?
100. I'm going to be 103.
Love.
I'm going to be crossing the street and you're going to look at me and you're going to be like, why doesn't this old woman go and sit down somewhere?
Mhm.
Me crossing the street,
Yeah.
hopefully in a
Yeah.
cute look. And you're like, look at
Mhm.
that cute old woman. She like is nailing it. Me. I will never leave this city.
Well,
And
they
this is a big reason why.
they have an account that's like the looks of Madison Ave or something, but it's all the old ladies that go to the Met and all the
Oh,
outfits. Uh, um, I'm tapped in. Like, ladies,
done.
I, I want to be your best friend.
Let's go.
Right.
That's okay. That's going to be us. We're going to be there.
And it feels like such an extension of everybody's artistry too. Of
Mm,
like, this is how I want to show up in the world. And it feels like a direct correlation to confidence.
yeah, it is. It
And,
is.
and you like grow into yourself by discovering it.
Totally.
And this is a fun one. But if you were to raid one Broadway show's costume department for your own closet, which show are you picking? It doesn't have to be currently running.
Okay, hold on. Why was my immediate reaction? My immediate reaction was Amneris's closet in Aida.
Okay.
It went strongest suit. It went crazy. In my brain, that's exactly my gut reaction, but I feel like
Okay.
that's wild.
Mine is Funny Girl, so
Okay, love.
yeah. Like animal print everything. Like
Oh,
I wanna
love.
wear a pillbox hat, like unironically. I'm not doing this in my
Mm,
day-to-day life, but this is like
but you kind of
visionary.
oh, I hear you. Okay. I might stick with my answer.
Okay. And the answer stands.
Okay. Yeah.
And on the costume side, you've worn Wicked Capes, Roxy Hart, Razzle Dazzle. Like, are there
Mm-hmm.
costumes that have changed the way you carry yourself through a show?
Act 2, scene 1, 30-pound Evita, Casa Rosada,
Uh-huh.
Don't Cry for Me Argentina. Like, it's at least, I don't even remember, it's 25,000 Swarovski crystals, 30 pounds. So you have to go up to the balcony where it would sit, and then you like climb into it, and then it would be like lifted on top of me. Like, you can't walk in it. So, yes. And starting the show that way, absolutely. Like, it changed.
Right.
And then you like get out of it, you like step out of it on stage. That was like, absolutely. It totally informed the way that I moved and held myself, and absolutely. That's the first one that came to mind.
Well, because you have to meet the moment. Like, if you're going to be, not that Ava Peron is not taking everybody in already, but
Oh
like
yeah.
the power that that holds.
That was a big one. That was a big one.
And then stealing again from Stage's podcast, they always ask guests, what's a piece in your closet that you would never get rid of because of what it means to you?
Hmm.
It can be an opening nightgown. It can be a bracelet that you've had since you were 10. It can be anything.
Okay, love. I have all my like merch like from every show. Those are not going anywhere. The like sweatshirts
Yeah.
from the merch
Are you going to quilt
table.
it? Is it
Good
going to be,
question.
uh-huh.
Good question. That's a great possibility.
Okay.
When there are like 20 more, yes.
Sure. Okay.
Yep. That's a good, and I love that option.
Yeah.
Okay, I lost my dad in college, and I still have one of his t-shirts, and it
Mm.
will be in my life forever. The only trick with this is occasionally I wear it to bed, which means it's losing I need to preserve it.
Uh-huh.
But it is 2025. We have to have something like this where
I
I'm like,
know.
is there something I could spray on it where it'll like stay? So the goal will be that I have it the rest of my life, but it cannot become rags. So
Right.
that's going to be my next project of like, I still want to be able to wear it, but like, anyway. So if you're listening to this and you have a solution for us,
Yes.
please tell
Well,
me.
that was my roommate in college. She had the same like bunny since she was born.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, that bunny was a piece of fabric.
It is
Like,
hard to like, come on. And that's
yeah.
well loved, but at the same time, you're like, okay, yeah, I see that. I totally get that. That's my
Right.
problem. But yeah.
Well, if you find out, let me know because I do
Okay.
have two pajama shirts that were like my grandpa's, and
Right?
I'm wearing them.
We have to be able to, we're going to come up with something like this
Yeah.
because we are not the first people to have this problem. Like, this is
Well,
great.
they say every entrepreneur, the invention comes out of a gap in the market.
Is this what we're doing right now?
Is this our Shark Tank?
Did all of this just lead to this? I am obsessed. This is called
Okay.
staying open, saying yes,
Yeah.
dreaming, and
Sustainability, ethically
manifesting
smart.
and generating. Let's go.
Okay. I'm there.
I'm there
Well,
too. I will follow up on that.
no, we'll see this through. All right. Well, we've come to our last question. This
Okay.
has been such a joy.
Such a joy, Mackenzie. Thank you.
We'd love to know, when you look at your career, what do you hope is your signature stamp that you're leaving people with when you enter a room?
Yeah. The legacy. What's the legacy?
Mm.
Love.
Mhm.
Love, capital L. And love is light and connection and joy and space. And, I want to say love. I want to say, wow, I want people to say, sure, she was talented. Sort of like what this person said at the end of this contract where I was leading the show, this impact of like, she loved. She
Mhm.
loved. And in all she did, we saw that love. That's what I would want.
And I don't want to misquote this, but I've heard someone say every single action, I, I think it was Matt Rodin said this, every single action is either out of love or fear. And you get to choose which one you want to lead with.
I believe in that.
Yeah.
I believe in that.
What a beautiful way to end it.
What
I
a
cannot
beautiful way.
thank you enough for taking the time to
Oh,
speak today.
thank you
And
so much for having me, Mackenzie.
of course, and we're so excited for the new song,
Yes,
Coast.
Christmas on the Coast. It's wherever you listen to music. You can find out more at christmasonthecoast.com.
Mhm.
We have a music video of it on YouTube.
a little birdie said there might be some covers coming next year.
Yes, a little birdie. You heard it
Who's
here
to
first,
say?
folks.
Perfect. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
You gotta have heat to make a spark. We can always come back to Central Park. Why don't we stay